Hey everyone, today we're going to go through what the ADAPT Daily does on a daily basis. Today's going to be a little bit of a longer video. We're going to go through just kind of how the trade is designed to move and adapt with the market, right? That's why we called it ADAPT Daily. And it's very unique. It's cool. It's interesting. I really love that it kind of has a mind of its own and it goes with the kind of flow of the market. Even though it's not trying to, trade on direction, you'll see most of the time it's market neutral, but just kind of how the market naturally moves and how the options end up pricing us into different structures is really kind of neat. And so we're going to go through a full campaign, basically a full month of it changing and trading into different trades. We're going to start off in the reef trade, and then we're going to move into, I think it's going to go into the buoy trade, and then we'll end off in the surf trade. So 3 of the trades that we have 4 total right now. There's going to be a 5th to be added here soon. But anyways, these all change, and of course in each structure they change their profit and loss targets. We change our allocation levels, everything like that. I am going to be doing it for a full size account, basically $100,000. But of course, as you've seen in some of my other videos, or maybe you haven't, go check them out in trading the SPX with smaller accounts. We can get down to 25,000. You can even get down all the way down to $10,000 with trading these setups. So let's just jump right into it. All right. Okay, so here we are in April 23rd of 2024. All right, if you're not familiar with O&E, let me just kind of explain this really quickly here. Over here we have our option chain, and then we have our analyze tab over here. This is just showing us today basically what kind of a move it was. It was a 1.62 standard deviation move. You can see our date and time up here. And these are puts down below, and these are calls up above. So I'm going to be working with a mixture of both, right? Calls, puts. We're going to be doing putting butterflies on and calls on and calendars and all sorts of different kind of crazy things that we do in the ADAPT Daily. Each thing is systematized, and you kind of see how it flows and how it goes today. As I said earlier in the intro, it is going to be a longer video, so get a little bit of popcorn, relax, hang out. If you do like this kind of material, like and subscribe. Remember, karma is real, so you help us out and it'll come back to you. All right, so let's just jump into the first trade. So first things first is we got to set up a butterfly. As always, we set up a butterfly with our standard deviation to the downside on the put side. We can do this in Thinkorswim as well. We use the standard deviation to the put side as well. But we're just going to stick in O&E today. So how I'm going to set this up is I'm going to set up our trades one by one. So I'm doing a $100,000 account. So I should be able to put on probably 20 butterflies. And the reason why I skipped a strike down here is because if I try to go the full standard deviation, we actually get a broken wing butterfly. More on that in the options behind the scenes. If you want to join our free membership back there to learn how to set up these trades, I go through each one of these. All right, so we've got about -77 delta on this guy. So that looks like we need something probably up here. So let's do that. It gets us down to -3. So that's about right. Let's go just a little bit higher. Can we push it? Yeah, 1.99. That's pretty good. Nice and flat for a reef trade. Looking pretty good. All right, so this is our first trade. We're doing $100,000. We're slightly over allocated. Of course, we can use XSP and go into like 19 butterflies or something like that, and do 1 call and 9 calls down in XSP, like 1 call in SPX and 9 calls in XSP. Those types of things would work if we were trying to get incremental sizes, and that's what I do with accounts that are this size when I'm trying to get pretty much spot on perfect. But of course, I am not going to do that today. I'm just going to try to keep it as simple as possible. So we're going to be a little bit over allocated. We're currently doing a 20% allocation on this. So let's go ahead and commit this guy. We're at 11:30. We're going to call this the 4-23 reef trade. And then we're just going to march forward to the next day because there's nothing to do. This is how we trade live, is we just check it once a day. I'm going to be checking it at 11:30. I might bounce around 5 minutes, 15 minutes or so, depending on if pricing gets kind of weird and stuff like that. Which that reminds me, let me turn on intraday prices, so that way if we know if we're kind of at like some sort of freak anomalistic price or something like that. All right, so 14 days for the original reef. Now it's another reef trade, so we're going to stick on another reef trade back here, and I will do 20. I think I'm going to have to do a skip on this one as well, but you can see how quickly we can just make these trades. And I'll turn this on to separate. And so we're down here at 7 delta. Let's see, 1 delta, perfect. And right there, right around the capital that we're looking for, start up a new trade and commit this guy. And we'll call this guy for 24 reef. And this is basically what I'm going to do. So if you want to skip forward, ahead, or anything like that, while I continue to just put these on, throughout the time when I start to get more and more on, I'm going to show you what the combination looks like, which I'll do that probably on this next day here. Let me just put another one on so you can see that actually market moved down a decent amount, just a little pullback, right? Let's put on a new trade, and we'll go out here 14 days again. 20. Let's see if we can get a full-size butterfly on. Ooh, we can. Look at that. Oh, perfect, right? Commit that guy, and we're at 4-25 reef. Voila. All right, so we got 3 reef trades on right now. So let's go see what this looks like as a whole. So what I'm going to kind of do here is I'm just going to go through each one of these, and I might do some nice editing so you guys don't have to sit through this each time I do this. But basically, I'm going to go through each one of these. That way we can show you what trades we have on. So this is what the full account looks like right now. You can see basically it's just been moved out, right? We're very stable, but you can see that we're kind of in the middle of this butterfly. Everything's really, kind of solid. We don't have any profit. We have kind of ups and downs of profits, as we can kind of see going through this. Like this guy is up 0.74. This guy is up right here 0.71. Right, nothing too amazing. So this is a pretty good reflection of basically what the total trade system looks like. Rather flat, kind of hanging out. This is kind of reef land. There is a common misconception that a lot of our reef profits are actually going to come in from this butterfly. That's not always the case, actually. Sometimes we actually run up into these calls and we make our money in the calls, and then sometimes we do go back into the butterfly, and the butterfly kind of makes it. It's really just about the fact that ATM options are relatively underpriced for positive delta hedging, and then there is some extra premium back here behind in the puts that we can capture in this type of a setup. So that's why the reef trade is the way it is, and of course that's based on our proprietary options models. But you don't really need to know any of that kind of stuff to follow the system. You just can hang out and enjoy the ride. But I just want to show you kind of how the portfolio moves in this video. So let's go ahead and put on a new trade. I'll clear these guys out, and we'll go to the next day. All right, so Mr. Market has shot up pretty aggressively. Let's go look at our other trades. You can see we're sunken out by 2.57, so we're okay on that trade. 0.84 on this guy, we're okay on that one. And 0.4. Our profit and loss targets right now we're looking for is -3 to the downside and +8 to the upside. So haven't hit any of those right now, so we are still filling the bucket. This is basically like if we would have started out this trading system scratch on the 23rd. So let's just start out a new trade. I'm going out here to 14 days again. And if you're coming in here fresh for the first time and you don't know anything about the ADAPT Daily, these trades are held for a week, and they all kind of sit on top of each other, compound, and then grow from here. So let's jump up here to All right, so that's a little aggressive, so we're going to pull this guy back. 18 delta, yeah, we can tell things have definitely cranked up here. So let's drop this back. I know this eventually, I need to go up. Here we go. All right, so there we go. That's about perfect. We were a little bit negative on that guy. Let's see, negative 0.22. Yeah, we'll stay with this one. We can even split this if we wanted to. Yeah, that's actually a little bit better, a little bit flatter, right? Just if we're trying to, have a good time. It's one thing nice about having multiple calls on here. All right, let's commit this guy. All right, so far we are in about 5 days on this guy. Yeah, we've got almost 5 trading days in here. We got 4 trading days. This is our 4th trading day. Let's see. Let's see if anything's at profit or loss target. So it looks like we did take a doozy on this guy. We're going to have to close him out. So we lost 4% on this guy. Keep in mind that this is 4% on the trade. So we have $100,000. So just a little bit under 100% or 1% for the total account. No big deal, right? Just 1%. Right, that's kind of how this trading system kind of goes. Is it's like 1%, 1%, 2%, 1%. That's kind of how we gain, and that's just how the allocations are kind of made up for. Sometimes we get some big boom and wins, but we'll talk about that later as we get into some other trades. But we are just going to clip away and make a lot of money for this little cycle here. But you're going to see kind of how everything moves. By the way, let's go ahead and do this just because we've got a bunch on here. You can see how this changed. I'm going to collect them all together, and through the magic of YouTube and video editing, you'll see me at the end of this putting them all together. All right, so here you have it. This is what our trading system looks like. The ADAPT Daily, about a week in. So you can see that we've got this big old swoopy, basically kind of like a pseudo straddle kind of going on here with a little bit of negative delta on it. In this position, we really would rather like something just skyrocket to the upside or for it to start dropping back. Of course, let's go ahead and look at where the market is. So we started off down here, right around here, went down, then went up. And so we're up here about 5,100. So yeah, if the market pulls back, we should make a nice dime. Or if the market rocket shits to the upside, we should be okay as well. That is the full thing. We are going to take one trade off. So basically what's going to happen today, just so that you can see this kind of morph, is these guys are going to come off today because we took a small loss on it. And you can see it took out quite a bit of that negative theta risk right here, but we are sitting on a negative theta trade. So sometimes people can kind of freak out about that, especially if you're used to like just traditional income trading. Remember, income trading is just simply trading with a positive expectancy with a repeatable process. And that is what this is. It just might not be positive theta trading, what some people are a little used to. We sometimes are positive theta, sometimes we're negative theta, sometimes we're theta crazy. We'll talk about that another time too. But let's just get in here and let me close down these trades. And we'll check the stats near the end as well, so we can kind of just see what everything's going through. But basically, if we go over to reports, we should be able to see kind of where we were on things. And we'll march on. But remember, we just started, so it's a campaign. This is only our first week. All right, so not over profit or not over loss target yet. Not over loss target yet. And we're doing fine on that guy. All right, let's make a new trade for the day. And we'll go forward another day. All right, markets come back quite a bit, actually, 127 or 1.27 standard deviations. This guy's down about 1%, but he's doing okay. Let's go see how our other trades are doing. 2% on the 24 reef. Flat on that guy. Just slightly up on that guy. So we're pretty much doing okay across everything. Nothing is at our profit targets yet. We're looking for 8%. We're looking for 8% on these profit targets. The reef changes quite a bit. Sometimes we're looking for 8. Sometimes we're looking for 5. Sometimes we're looking for 17. But anyways, looking good. Let's put on a new trade for today. And you'll notice that because of the system here, the trade sizes change, or at least the spread sizes change. That's due to the system of scaling these flies. That way, no matter how big the asset is, no matter If you're familiar with third order Greeks, where we're talking about speed, the speed, it's adapting to the speed of the asset. So there's our new reef. So you can see quite a decent amount of little theta on this guy. Nothing too crazy, 22,000. So we're looking pretty good. We'll commit this guy. I think I'm going to get slightly over allocated just because I'm not as incremental in O&E as I can be in like TOS, where I can portfolio beta weight and use some XSP. But anyways, like I said, go check out that video, trading SPX with small accounts, on my YouTube. If you haven't seen that, I talk about trading this with small accounts. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades on. So as of this moment, this is when things get a little bit interesting with the ADAPT Daily. Basically, what happens at this point is if we get above a profit target intraday, we do take it off. Just to make this thing a little bit simpler, basically what happens is when the market opens up, we can go look at our spread and then basically just put an alert on for if it gets above a profit target, and then we can take it off, kind of a thing. Easier to do on buoys as well. You can just put a limit order on the buoys because it's only a single structure. But yep, let's move forward on this. And I'll see here on any of the dots if they start pushing over that we do something. Wow, that was a very anomalistic price point. So let's see, 3%. I don't think this guy made it over that day. Although, you know, there's spikes up here. I mean, you know, look at this 18%, all that stuff. But it's total garbage. Like, you're never going to get filled for that kind of stuff. This guy looks like he's fine. Looks like he got popped up a decent amount. Let's go. I doubt that you're going to get filled at that. That probably was just something kind of crazy that day. So one thing to keep in mind is that we will close these early in the day, but only for the one that was going to expire. So this is the one that I care about, which is one that I'm going to go back in time, which I will actually. He is over profit target either way, but I am going to take him back when he was at profit target back here in the day, because it was going to be taken off today anyways. That's part of the rules of the ADAPT Daily, is that if they get taken, or if they hit profit target on their last day, we only hold 5 trades on maximum, that we will close it out early. So if I jump back here to earlier in the day, you know, clearly over profit target, but let's just see the first time it was over. Looks like it pretty much opened up over profit target. So let's just go ahead, enter closing trades, and commit that bad boy. Okay, so the rest of these guys, we got to wait till the end of the day, which is part of our rules. Let's go move closer to the end of the day. I normally check this a couple hours before the end of the day. If they're up over profit target, I'll take them. But it's just kind of whether you have enough free time to do that or not. So let's march towards the end of the day, and we'll say about 11 o'clock Pacific time over here is when I'll start looking at them. It looks like we're going to have a big move right there. So, but basically, yeah, so here we are hanging out right here, and anything that's over 8%, I'm basically going to take off. That's kind of how it goes. So 9.78, we're going to close this guy. And then what's this guy looking at? He's at 7. That's pretty close to profit target, but he's kind of bouncing everywhere. I'm going to say, I know that's a 13 up there, a 6, a 9. It's a little bouncy. It's a little bouncy, but I mean, he's holding and like bouncing over profit target pretty regularly. It's a tough one whether you would have been able to get this filled or not. Of course, looking at my this is the May 1st. Yeah, my May 1st, I actually took a small loss on this trade. So I'm going to say probably throughout the day I wasn't able to get it filled, or I didn't check it early enough when it was kind of at this 11 o'clock hour. I probably waited till later in the day. So it looks like I'm going to take a small loss on this, and I'm just going to say that we didn't capture that gain. So we'll leave it at that. The 29th is the same way. You definitely didn't get there. And then the 30th, well, he's all over the place, but basically he never got up to profit target either at this time of the day. So yeah, no. So now that we've got this, you can basically kind of see here across these guys, we have changed our structure. We took off a lot of risk, right? We flattened out everything. We had a lot of negative delta on, as you guys remember, that whole straddle type of trade. Now we're going to put on a new trade because today's a new day, right? And you'll see that we'll flatten out even more, right? So we're just kind of, you can see that by changing these one at a time, we just get these nice adjusting positions. All right, so we're right here. We're gonna move this down to, we're gonna split these guys. And yeah, give us nice flat delta, perfect. Commit. All right, we have hung out a little bit longer. The 26th trade wasn't gonna get closed today, so there's no reason to look at it intraday, but this is at the end of the day, so we're gonna close this guy down for a win. And he's gonna take off a lot of negative delta that we were holding on to. Here is the, let's see, 5%. We're looking for 8 on this guy. As of right now, he's not triggering over that. And the 30th, let's see how this guy was, 6%. We'll click around a little bit, see if we get over 8. No, it doesn't look like we get over 8. Nope, no, nothing over 8. Let's see, yeah, pretty much steady at 5. And then the trade that we just put on is fine as well. So let's go put on a new trade. This is the second, right? Here we're about to shift some environments. The options start changing. All right, there's our reef trade. And let's march another day forward. Okay, so we've had this big, huge push up. We're actually going to take this guy off for a loss. We just put him on yesterday, but you know, is what it is, right? We got to take him off. That guy's fine. This guy definitely took a big fat loss. And this guy took a loss as well. So yeah, we're basically just going to shut these guys down. So just before I do this though, let me show you what all of these guys look like. Because like I said, we went from this super wicked negative delta position. Now we're kind of in this a little bit saggier of a position. And then I'll show you what it looks like when we take those trades off as well. So skipping forward. All right, so as you can see what kind of position we're in. We're in this big, crazy, like, you know, gammy position, lots of negative theta in here, all that kind of jazz. But we're going to be taking off a few of these structures, right? We're going to be taking off some of these older ones. So these guys are going to get deleted off. Right, so you can see what it's doing is it's softening out naturally just by taking them off at their loss target, right? Right, you see how much softer it got, and then we're going to put on another structure. And so you can see how it's morphing itself and adapting to the fact that the market is moving around, pushing up again, right? It's kind of naturally doing its thing. We captured some gains at the bottom. We're taking on a little bit of some unrealized or some losses to the upside. So we're just kind of getting chopped around a little bit, but it's natural, right? And it's doing its job. All right, so as of right now, we literally, you can see here with our open trades, we only have one open trade on. So talk about some serious de-risking, right, to something that might, you know, grind higher in like a slow, methodical way where we're going to have quite a bit of risk. So we've only got one trade on, which is 20% of our capital, down about 500 bucks. We're up about 3% on the account, cruising along. We're just a little bit over a week into this, and then we'll just keep cruising forward. All right, marching forward another day. You can see here the market did push up yet again. So let's look at our trades. 3.45, we're doing okay on the 5-1 reef. So let's make another trade for today. Butterflies have gotten smaller due to the volatility and the size of the asset, right? That combination. So you can see back here, see the old reef trade, how large it was, and then see how the smaller reef or the smaller butterfly is starting to show up. That's all part of how we dynamically size these butterflies down here. So let's just go through and put 2 calls on this. So you can see here, due to that too, we're going to have a little bit of a change in our delta. So let's just look at this into a new trade. So you can see here, we got to move this guy out significantly further, right? Like, let's see here. We're still looking for 2 to 1, or I'm sorry, 10 to 1. And we're looking pretty good here. 4 delta. This is probably going to be negative. So let's split the difference just like we have done. And that looks beautiful. So we'll commit that guy. All right, now we'll jump through the next day. So like I said, this is just the process. This is the process of every day. We're jumping through a full month of this until we get to today, which is 5/31. And let's just see how it goes. So 5/1, we are still okay at 345. We're looking for 4% for our max loss, 2.78. Looks like we're taking on a little bit of water on these guys. Let's jump to 14. There we are. And before I do this, let me just see. That's 13,000 plus the calls on here. Yeah, 21. We're still doing okay. We're a little bit under allocated. We're going to be at like 19. Yeah. But that's okay. We're doing okay. All right. There's pretty flat delta. Let's commit that guy. Moving on to the next day. So, you know, we check in, grab it, see how it's going. This guy's probably at max loss. Yep. So we're going to take him off. Let's go check on the other reef. 7. Yep. He's max loss. All right. So we've got one remaining guy. So we're just going to kind of continue to trudge on. So as of this day, the 5/7, so instead of entering a new trade today into a reef, we've actually switched into a whole new environment. Our whole new environment is actually shifting into buoy trades. So our buoy trades, instead of being out here at 14 days, we're going to be all the way out here at 40 days. And this is when things change quite a bit, because after I put this trade on, you're going to see a little bit of a shift. So we're going to go out here to 38 because that's pretty close. And we're going to stay on the call side. Now, if we're doing this on toss, it is really, really, really important that you use the put side. So only the downside. So from ATM down to the lower side of the market, that distance. O&E, does it equal sized from up to down, right? From above the market to below the market, because it uses a standard deviation around the center ATM point. Toss does not do that, right? It's very important to know the difference of the two. All right, so let's put in a flat butterfly here. You can see back here, this is a monster, right? Absolute monster. We are at a 12% allocation. We're actually at like an 11.61, but we're just going to round it to a 12% allocation. And we're doing a $100,000 trade that is taking on just a little bit of water. So we're just going to be slightly under 12,000. And since we can shave this down, we're just going to go to like 7, probably 4 actually. And 6 is, oh, that's pretty much right at it, but we're going to shave it down just 1 just to be a little bit under, because we've taken on just a little bit of water here. Perfect. So 10.4. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Looks gorgeous. All right. Start a new trade. This is how that buoy looks. So very different than what we've been doing, right? We've been doing these reefs, which have been below the monies. And now we are shifting to buoys, right? And these are all following my live trades that we had, right? So no changes here. And then we're just going to march forward. So another day, we already starting up a little bit of money. So this is all good. Let's go look at our reef trade, see if he's doing okay. -3, still hanging out, doing okay up here. We're due for a new trade. So if you look at this, like, let's just kind of grab both of these trades and put them together and see what our total exposure looks like. So remember, we had this big swoopy kind of straddly type of looking thing, and then now if we combine these two, you can see what they start to look like now. So here's the combination of the two. Doesn't look like much, right? Because we're all the way out here at 40 days. But what it has done is it stabilizes a lot of the positive delta, right? And then we're going to be adding one more today. Now, 40 DTE is kind of our eyeball right here. We're 3 days away and 40 days. So we're going to stay right here. So we're basically going to kind of just stack up on here. So let's do. So that is what it's going to look like after we're done. So you can see here after we enter our new trade today, we're starting to fill in this upper part. We still have a butterfly. We're very flattened out, right? But the adjustments themselves, right, or the new trades, I should say, are acting as an adjustment. Our theta is starting to go up, right, as we've been adding some more and things like that. So it's really kind of cool how it's working. So let me go enter that trade today. All right, there we go. We're in it and moving to the next day. All right, markets have moved up a little bit more, 4%. We're looking for 20% in these buoys. So significantly higher profit and loss target. So 6% on this guy is fine. The reef trade, has it lost out? It has. We have nuked our final loss. So we're just going to close these guys down, and we took on some water on some of those reef trades. Is what it is, but that's part of the process, right? We have some that win, we have some that lose, and it is part of the deal. So now we've got buoys in here that are starting to make some money. 6% on that buoy and 4% on that buoy. But I wanted you guys to see very, clearly how the trades are transitioning, right? We went from a flat, kind of almost straddle-y type of position that's very, very apt to very large movement, maybe, or a grinding, slow down market, things like that. If you're trying to take directional into account, right? Even though that's not really what we're doing, I'm just trying to talk about how the trades are structured. And then now we're shifting into a butterfly above the market, and fairly much relatively a bullish trade in essence, albeit it doesn't take a bullish market to actually make money in these. More on that another day. But either way, we're up 6% on this guy and up 4% on the guy that we made here. So let's make a new trade. We're still in buoy land. We stay in buoy land for a long time here. We're going to stay in buoy land until the 21st of May. So we got a good solid 12 days of buoys. Just non-stop buoys over and over. Butterflies above the market over and over and over. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So I'm going to shift over to 43 DTE now. We're trying to get to 40 DTE, but if you notice, we don't have all the strikes in 40 DTE or 39. So we're just going to jump over here at 43 and just call it good, right? Doesn't have to be a perfect science. We're doing great. Let me check and let me just see what 10 butterflies does us. Might be a little expensive for our taste. That is, yeah, that's definitely expensive for our taste. So we need we'll go with 11. All right, we are here with what, 22 grand? Oh wait, that's way too much still. We need 12. So let's go with 6. There we are, 12,300. That's pretty close. Perfect. And all right, now we're in buoy land. So one thing fun about the buoy is that in 2023, the buoy, even though it was very suitable for the options market, we had some anomalies in 2023, and the buoys didn't perform very well in 2023, which is another structure that's going to be coming in very soon to deal with that. Of course, that's not something that happened during this cycle, but here we are. All right, so 5.7, we're up 10% on the 5.7 buoy. We're up 8% on the 5.8 buoy, and we are up 4.63 on that buoy. So we're doing good. Nothing's near 20%. So let's stack on another one and move on with our life, right? Yet again, it only takes just a few minutes to kind of put these on, execute them, move on with our lives. Trading doesn't need to be hard. It can be simple. All right, so let's do a new one. The hard part about trading is developing the system. It really is. I mean, the trading itself and executing should be the easy part. So 10.4, let's go a little bit heavier on this one. Voila, there we are, 12.2, perfect. All right, like I said, we're just marching through, and next day. So you can see here how we've completely changed this entire process. If I were to match up what all of these trades look like, they just look like basically one gigantic dome in front of the market. You can see here, we're pretty much at the money with negative delta or neutral delta, and a little bit of positive delta. So if we were to go through all these, which I will with the power of video editing, you can see here in just a second. Let me clip forward. All right, so there's our full exposure right now. You can see it is kind of a big, gigantic dome up here. Keep in mind that these are all 12% of our allocation, so the maximum we can really get to is about a half, 50% allocated. So there's only 50% of our capital in here. You can see that here, 48,000, right? And we've got, what, 4 trades on. So we can get just a little bit over half of our capital, about 60% or so. I've only got enough room for one more trade in here. So you can see here that, you know, really a large move or so at these current prices, right? A large move, maybe 51.60 or so. 51.60 doesn't wipe anything out, right? It's not, you know, a death sentence or anything. Only half our capital, 7%, so that's 3.5% is really what we're risking right now. So you can see how docile this is as it's kind of moving and manipulating itself to the market and adapting itself to the market. So let's go put on a new trade. Nothing's over profit target. All right, moving on to the next day. And all right, let's see if we've got any max gains that we've got to deal with. So 16%, not quite max gain material yet, but we're getting very close, right? 15, something to note, right? Even though these are at 44 days out here, right? You know, 40-ish days. Now this guy should be in the 30s. You see how much decay we've had in this? You know, our theta is supposedly only 159, but yet we're up, you know, $1,650. That's way more than the theta it's doing. Theta's a garbage number. Got to remember that. All right, 5.8, no max gain. No max gain. All right, so from this point on, we have 5 trades on. So what's happening is once we get to that previous 5-day or, you know, 5 trading days, but 7 calendar days, we're going to be looking at taking off that 5.7. So marching forward. So if that 5.7 gets over profit target at any point in the day, we would have taken it off for capital or for max gain. And it might have been over early in the morning. We might have seen that. Let me just go back to it and let me see if we would have. We'll go back to the opening bell and see if we could have really cleaned up for 20%. Doesn't look like it. We're just going to kind of clip through 17, 19. I don't think it would have been 19, nothing over 20. Nah, I don't think we would have been able to close over it. So let's just jump to our full close, which is going to be at, we'll say, you know, somewhere around noon-ish. And we'll close this guy out for roughly 15% profit. Sweet. We'll take that and move on. All right, so 5.8 is at 12%, doing fine there. There's 15% for the 5.9. There's 10% for the 5.10. And there's 13. All right, let's put on another buoy. So you can see we've kind of gotten a little more ATM. We're starting to put some more buoys out here. So we're actually softening the delta up, right? By adding more positive delta on, by putting a positive delta trade on. You can see that we're kind of rolling up with the market as the market is rallying straight up into new highs. All right. If we go look at our reports over here, you can see here we haven't closed a bunch of our trades that are up money yet. Of course, this isn't counting them yet, but we should be up a little bit of money by the end of this and being just fine and dandy. All right, here we are at, we can either go 37 or 44. I'm just going to go to 44. It's a little bit longer term, but it's fine. Let's put this guy out here and we'll go to our risk chart so that way we can see things. And there's a flat butterfly. And 17, that's way too much. We're going to put 8. Oh, beautiful. All right, there we go. And you can see here, as we kind of click through, you can see here we've got negative delta, negative delta, negative delta, and then one with positive delta, right? I need to rename this. I'll do that really quick. Alrighty then. So if I put all these together, which I will show you guys that, you'll see that we're actually overall a little bit of negative delta. And this is a 1.7 standard deviation move. I mean, this is a big monster move. You can see we've kind of held this on to basically a straight up market. But what's nice about this, as the market has run up so aggressively, now we're actually getting a lot of negative delta on. So if the market stalls out up here, we can collect quite a bit of positive theta. All right, so stacking them all together, you can see this is where we're at, right? We're in a very, very, very aggressively negative delta position. I shouldn't say negative delta, but we're a little bit negative delta. But man, we have a lot of theta underneath this thing. Now, I know that I just said theta was a pretty garbage Greek, but in general, you can just see how much time decay that we have stacked up in this. So if the market calms, or I should say when the market kind of calms down after this really strong rally, we're actually going to make quite a bit of money in this. And we're not trying to trade direction or anything in here. We're just trading for what the best options are on a statistical basis, according to our models, right? And it's looking beautiful. So let's just keep marching along. And like I said, I just wanted to show you guys just basically what it looks like. And we'll move forward. And what I really love about this trading system is that it forces you, because of these days, it forces you to collect those real unrealized profits into something that collects them and puts them in the bag. And so it's just one of those things. It's a naturally adapting system, or a naturally self-adjusting system. Right, so remember, we are going to be looking for this trade to hit over max gain intraday, and we will take it intraday if it happens early in the morning or something like that. Does it happen here? I don't think it gets over 20. There's a couple dots up there, but I doubt that we'd be able to collect those. So we're just going to collect it at 11.24. Enter closing trades. Perfect. We will collect those. Does anything else as of our profit time over 20%? We're at 12:05. Let me kind of watch this in the last half of the day, and let me see if we were to collect this. Yeah. So, you know, like I said, I watched the things in the last hour. We'll collect this guy. This guy's at 15. And I don't think he would have collected anything further. 13. He's at 16. Nothing above 20. The 515 one, he's doing good. You can see, even though actually the market at this point has gone down a little bit, we've actually gotten a little bit of release in this. That's actually really exciting. So let's start a new trade. We've collected some profits on this March so far. Let's put on a new trade and move on with our day. We're up about, yeah, $2,500 or so. Nothing too crazy. And let's march forward again to our next day. All right. Ooh, you can actually see we actually got a lot of release. There's a really, really strong edge up here when these buoys kick in. All right. 510. We don't have 510. This is actually the last day of expiration on this guy. He's basically going to clip off right here. So 21. So enter closing model trades, and we will collect our win on that one. This guy is a 513. We're going to collect our win on this one. And that leaves us with two buoys left. 5.6 or 5.15 and 5.16. So they're both doing good. Let's add on another buoy. We're going to be here in this 40 days. So we'll probably put on the same buoy, actually. Yeah, pretty much the same buoy. We'll just commit this guy. Doing good. So we're just making money, right? Every day, clipping forward, making a little bit of money. Let's jump to the next day. You can see a little bit more release, 515, 9%. So nothing over profit target. Everything doing okay. Let's put on another trade. All right, there we are. Next day. All right. Ooh, this was a nice release. Did you see all that? I mean, that was just a big pump up from day to day. How's this 515 doing now? Ooh, we're so close to profit target on it. Looking really nice. 13% on that guy. Oh, we're so close. So everything's building up really nicely. You can see our delta's flattened out quite a bit. So nothing's really got too much positive delta or negative delta. We're just kind of sitting on this really, really high theta position, looking for 20% on this guy. We didn't tag it this day, but that's okay. So we're at 4 trades, and 515 is our 7 day. So tomorrow we're going to be looking for a max gain in that guy, and we'll take him off early if we need to. Otherwise, let's just throw in a new trade. There we go. We're set up, and let's march on to the next day. All right, so it does look like the market kind of cooled down a little bit. Remember, we were checking this intraday for the 515 to see if we're going to hit over profit target. It looks like we probably hit that earlier in the morning. So let me zoom back. Yeah, we're going to hit this earlier today. Yeah, looks like we were pretty solidly over. So we'll just close it. Let's see here. 5. Well, 17, 19. We're just kind of zooming around here. Earlier in the morning, if we would have grabbed it early in the morning, 18.75. So let's just kind of march forward. Let's see if we steadily stay over 20%. All around 19. It doesn't look like we we'll just hold on to it, right? Or we'll just close it at the end of the day, because it doesn't look like we made it up over 20%. We were pretty close, but we'll just close it at the close of the day. Looks pretty good, or where we normally check our trades. So we'll say we check our trades close to noon-ish. So there's noon-ish, and we'll just close them down. So enter close, commit. All right, look great. 13% on him. All right, and nothing else over profit target yet. Oh, all good. Everything's looking mighty fine. All right, let's put on another buoy. We are in buoys all the way until the 22nd. Oh, wait, actually, today, on this day, we actually switch into a new trade. So check this out. This is what's really cool about this system. So the markets come up, right? We were in this kind of crazy, chaotic land. We had reefs that actually made money on the way down. I didn't show you guys that, but we made a bunch of money on the way down. And then they kind of chopped around. I wanted to show you guys some kind of, some losers, some choppiness, some kind of craziness. And then we push up here, make a bunch of money as we kind of come up here, stall out. Everything's doing great. The buoys are doing fantastic. And then right now we're going to switch into surf trades. And surf trades are a really unique trade. They're the craziest trade we have. I say crazy because, man, they just get kind of wild on us. But they're a 14-day calendar. Whoa, I know, right? Calendar. So a 14-day calendar. That looks something like this. Now look at this. This is like negative theta. You're like, what is this? I mean, I don't even want to put this thing on. But let's go to this calendar is also hedged with some verticals. So we're going to throw a vertical on here. Let's say we probably need maybe 15. We probably don't need that much. Probably 10. That's way too much still. -6. Oh, there we go. We're getting pretty close here. So we'll do 5. And then we'll go midway here. So we're just going to kind of tweak this like I showed before. We're going to go 6. But you can tell we're still a little positive delta on here. So what we're going to do is we're going to split this guy up and just split them up into something a little bit easier. So we'll take 2 of these guys. and see, we can see here we can get pretty close to negative delta, or flat delta, I should say. Now, this is something that freaks everyone out, right? The first time they see us, oh my God, it's negative theta. Yeah, we don't care about negative theta. Don't worry about negative theta. It's fine. We're pushing on edges that are not based on theta and what a typical model of theta looks like. So no big deal. So what's cool about this is that now we're really going to be changing from this aggressively bullish high theta based trade to now we're going to be having surf trades on here. And these look really, really cool. So let me commit this guy first, and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so I've got them all together now, and voila. You can see that we're starting to change into this really weird structure, right? We've got this calendar that's behind the market, and then we've got these butterflies that are in front of the market, and technically we're like reducing our theta, and things are getting super strange, and everything's getting kind of weird, but you can see that the morphing has already started to begin, right? So we went from these really, really wide, flat structures, boom, to these very tight, bullish structures, and then we went all the way into now we're starting to convert into these kind of flatter calendarized structures, right? Really, really cool things for just how the options are priced and how it's kind of moving with the market. It's like a magic sauce that kind of goes through it. It's really neat. I love this trade. All right, so let's go ahead and cancel out of that. And no profit targets yet, but we still do have 5 trades on. So if we hit over 20%, we are going to exit this trade out. Let's go ahead and march on to the next day and see if we get there. Okay, so it looks like earlier this morning we did close out for a profit. Let's just march back there. It's only going to be this trade. Yeah, he's clearly over 20% all morning long. Everything's very solid. We're just going to close him out. Okay, these guys get over 20% as well, but we're not changing them out basically because it's not our time to do it, right? We wait until 11:45. So unless they're over profit target at 11:45 or 12 or so like that, we're not going to take these guys off, and they're clearly not. I mean, let's get to the 11. Yeah, the market looks like it starts to shoot down, have this big down day, and that's just not how we roll with things. So these guys are good. This is good. Let's see how the buoy did. Yep, everything's fine. So nothing's. This guy might be really close to a lost target. Let me kind of. He's 3. Yeah, we're looking for him to be over 4%. So since we were kind of borderline there, he's fine. He's okay. Let's jump over to our surf trade and see how he held up. So we're looking for a 5% on this surf trade. And let's see if we got him this day. It looks like he's holding pretty steady at 4. Yeah, I mean, that clipped 5, but I don't know if you could definitely close it for 5. That's an erroneous number. You're never going to close it for that much. So, yeah. Doesn't look like we get over profit target on this guy, so we're doing fine. Everything's doing pretty good. We closed that guy out, and we're starting up a new surf trade. So rinse and repeat. This is our life. We simply just put on the trades that are due that day. We are looking for 20% on these guys. So this seems a little aggressive. Let's go down to -3. 3. All right. And then we'll push this up to negative. All right, he looks perfect right there, and we'll commit this guy. All right, let's march on to the next day. All right, so market's gone up. We're fine on this trade. He's doing okay. Let's check our other surf trade. He's doing okay. Let's check our buoy. And then this, the 517 buoy is going to be the one that we're going to look at for intraday. Yeah, he's definitely clear over. So we'll just close him out. All right, and then we're going to look at this guy. We're going to monitor him in the last half hour, last hour or so. So let's just go 11:45. He's at 19. Does he clearly stay over 20 in the last hour of trading? He is really close, but I mean, with 5 minutes till, yes, he's over, but I just don't think you would be able to collect that with 5 minutes till, unless you got a limit order out there or something. I mean, it's possible. I definitely would be able to do it, but I mean, we're just gonna try to give us our say that maybe we didn't, maybe we couldn't do it. You know, we'll err on the side of not being able to do it. All right, let's go put on another surf trade, because surfs are going to take us all the way into our current date, which is 5/31. That's at least of the time of me recording this right now. And these have all been live trades that I've done myself, right? I've managed them, and you can see my results, right? Those are from my accounts. More specifically, they're actually from the small account that I've been showing you guys on some of my other videos, where I took that $25,000 trade, or $25,000 account. We're up to 36,000 already since April, so it's been really great. And I will keep posting about that account, because a lot of people have asked about smaller accounts, right? So we are focusing on some of the smaller accounts, 25,000 first, and then I can also show like a $10,000 account as well doing this. It's just the same techniques that we do at 25,000 to get to the smaller ones. No big deal. Let's put this guy. This guy needs to be a $20,000 account, or 20-ish thousand. We've collected some wins along the way, so we'll go a little bit heavier. All right, looks like we split the longs here. We're at 24. That's okay, because we've gotten some gains. Looking good. Like, that's a good solid one. We're slightly positive delta, but I think we'll be okay. Perfect. So like I said, if we kind of zoom across these, you can see kind of where we're at on this. We still got some positive delta up here. Yes, it was at the end of the day. Like I said, I don't think that we could have quite gotten that. We were really close to profit target. And maybe collect it, maybe not. You know, it's questionable, but we're not going to err on that. And you can see that predominantly now we have switched into a bunch of surf trades. So a bunch of surf trades. So let me just show you how we've changed. I will collect all these and put them together. And with the magic of editing again, you can zoom through to the other side. All right, so here we are. This is our full exposure now. I know it looked kind of weird with negative theta down here and all sorts of weirdness, but at the same time, you can see we've taken out a lot of our positive delta. We've started to convert a lot more into these calendarized structures. The market has been kind of chilling out up here, kind of getting some kind of freakiness in here with some bearish engulfing candles, all that kind of jazz. Stuff that we're not looking at. We're just letting the options do what they do. And here we are. So let me clear this out and let's move on to our next day, since we're already done. Oh, we do have a holiday on Monday. So because we have a holiday on Monday, we're going to go back to Friday, and we're actually going to close out that buoy. So the reason why we do that is because we only hold trades for 7 days. And if there is a holiday that goes in between that, we just close it out. So we're going to move on here to the end of the day, and we're actually going to close this guy out. All right, so we're going to close them out near the end of the day, because, you know, we wait until the end of the day anyways. So voila, it's pretty close. 15 minutes till the closing bell. Enter closing trades, commit. So we are going to close out this 520, because it would fall on a holiday when we have to close it off. So if I look at here, our 520 trade would close off on 527. And since we don't have a trade there, we've got to close out that 520 as well. So we close it out. Everything's all fine and dandy. And then let's go ahead and enter our fourth trade, which is another surf trade. And you can see we've almost fully transitioned out of buoys and into surf trades in a nice profitable fashion, I might add. And if we go to our reports really quick, you can see here that we have basically been climbing straight up, right? On our $100,000 account, we're up, what, 18, almost 19% so far. So just cruising right along. Everything's doing really solid. And live, I even outperformed a little bit in this, just because I closed out a couple of these trades at just some opportune moments and stuff like that. But I let that out to all the subscribers. I noted it in the forums. Everyone kind of knew when I closed out trades early, and they knew exactly when I closed them out. If I ever close out something early, I let everyone know. So yeah, everything's been fantastic, and so we're cruising right along here. So let me, and I've been trading everything in its appropriate size as well. That's really important. The allocation sizes are one of the most important things that we can do because that is what helps us manage our risk. No one wants to take a 15% hit like on a buoy at a max trade size of like 20% of the account, right? Like that's a brutal beating, right? That's 7%, 7.5% on the account. We just don't want to do that, right? So we risk manage it, right? We do it in a way that it's not such a bad deal. We take a 10% hit on a buoy, but it's at like an 11% of the account, right? When that happens, it's not such a bloodbath. It's not a big deal, and everything's all hunky-dory. So that's how we release lower our volatility and keep our profitability really nice and high. All right, let's put on these calendars and let's move on. All right, so we're sizing up just a little bit because, of course, we've had some winners, so we're scaling up the account. That is one thing nice about the ADAPT Daily is that we scale. So unlike keeping static trade sizes, we're all an allocation base. So as our account gets bigger, so do our trades. So now we've got 21,000 in this account. We can actually go up a little bit more if we wanted to, but we're good here, so that's fine. We're going to commit this guy. And we're going to march another day. Ooh, that looks like it was really bad execution. But, we'll roll with it. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, see, I think that bad execution, we probably would have profited. We probably would have max gained on this trade. But it's fine. We'll just kind of roll with it. I just, when you're doing back trader, things are just going to kind of grab at weird times. Okay, so this buoy trade is going to get closed today. It doesn't look like it made it over 20% any time of the day, so we're just going to close it at our normal trade time. Going to close them out for a profit. So we have fully taken off all of our buoy trades for max profit. We are at our trade time, so anything over its max profit we're going to take. Here is a 6%er. We're going to take this off because we're looking for 5% on these surf trades. So that's a winner. This guy is not over 5%. Doesn't look like he maintains over 5% yet. He is over 5%. He was pretty much tagging there for quite a while. So we will close this guy down. All right. He's over 3. And the 524 surf is really close. Man, he is so close. But we won't do it. It's one of those things. It's back trader, but we'll do it. Let's put on another one so you can see we flat trades with the reef, buoys / kind of bullish, right? And then now that we're switching into these calendar trades, now we're a little bit more neutral delta, doing these weird kind of Vega trades, kind of, contango curve things, right? That's what we're doing, right? We're grabbing different edges, right? We go from, non-directional edges to directional edges to now non-directional edges again too. Everything's just morphing and adapting and changing as the market and its environment changes. The cycle is taking us through completely different trades, and we're just managing it as we go along here. And if we go look at our report here of what it looks like, you can see what that's done for us, right? We've taken a $100,000 account and we've made $23,000 on it in a matter of a month, right? So that's how we do it. We just move with the system. We move with the market, and it's really beautiful. Our win-loss ratio is going up because we've been taking on more winners. Plus, our average win is way bigger than our average loss. Everything's looking gorgeous. So let's just keep cruising along. We've actually gone a little bit past a month, so we're going to go a little bit further. And we're just going to go to live and see where things are. So here we are. We're going to do another surf trade. And since we've been making money, of course, we got to scale up just a little bit, but not too much. All right. Looks like we got some terrible execution right here at the end of the day. I mean, look at this. We're at like the high dot of the day. We would have much rather execute earlier in the day. But it's fine. We're just going to rock it. Let's see what it does. Maybe we'll take some losses. Maybe we'll take some gains. Who knows? Tomorrow looked pretty good. All right, let's see what it did to the 523 surf. Yeah, we're definitely over profit target on that. We're going to take that guy off. Take another profit, little $1,640 in the bank. Who needs fast-paced intraday day trading when we can just clip away making profits every day. And we're going to take this guy off. So boom, we're down to one surf trade on again. Just one. And let's go look at our report again. Voila, look at this. $26,000 in a month on $100,000, right? Everything's just cruising. We're doing great. And let's throw on, and so this is where we're at. So the market has started to kind of, we just kind of stalled out here, really. Nothing too crazy. We might pull back a little bit if, you know, I kind of know the future a little bit. We're going to pull back a little bit, and then we're going to kind of bounce from here just a little bit, and we'll see how things are. It is looking pretty bullish on the way down, but what you're going to notice, right, is this IV change. So this is what people, you know, kind of assume on these trades, is we see these calendars in the back here, and we're like, oh, yeah, so we need a Vega, we need like a volatility spike in order for this trade to make money. No, not quite. Like sometimes that can help us, right? It depends on the volatility spike, but that's not the edge we're necessarily sitting on. It's really important to understand how options are priced in various expirations and how they decay going into expiration. That's really what gives us the edge in some of these structures. It's really complicated, and it would it would take me so many videos to explain really where the edges are in each one of these structures and why they are. It's taken me an entire career to understand it. So let's just kind of move on from there, but just know that it's not just Vega, because you're going to see here as a few days kind of marches forward, we're actually going to get volatility that starts to drop, and we're going to actually make even more money when the volatility drops. I know, crazy. It's going to be epic. So let's go ahead and put on our next trade. And that is looking really nice. Perfect. Look at that. Yeah, perfect. Looks gorgeous. So you can see now all of a sudden we have all this positive theta in this thing. Whoa. Where did this positive theta? Same structure, same everything, positive theta. It's fine. The models are freaking out. They don't know anything. They're just crazy. All right, let's just go ahead and execute this bad boy and move on with our life. All right, Dunsky. Let's move on to the next day. All right, market does come back, but what's really kind of interesting, so we've had a slight IV increase, you know, +3, pretty negligible, slightly moved down. That's been fine. Let's go look at our 528 surf. So it's slightly up, kind of, you know, chopping around. We'll see. All right. Well, nothing to do except for put on another trade. So by the way, we're running into live. I've only got one more day on this just until we get to our live trades. And I'll put one on so that you guys can see it. We're getting pretty close to what our trade size is. We'll just beat this guy up a little bit more just to kind of flatten him out. There we are, 24, slightly over capital, but we're doing all right. And voila. All right, so there we are, ready for another day. We are at live as of right now, right? We're after hours. Everything kind of went kind of haywire today. And it's not going to show you intradays or anything like that. But earlier today, I closed out all of these surf trades for max gains when they were back here. It's not going to show it right now because, like I said, everything's kind of weird. It's after hours and it's not really live. But both the 528 and the 529 surf trades closed. So for max gain, when the market was down pretty much just an hour before close, it was crazy. So these are all crazy prices. Nothing actually was like this during the day. So anyways, we profited this out really nicely. If we go back into BackTrader and kind of march it out here, you can see here we finished up our little endeavor here. So if we open this guy up, you can see here we made almost $26,000 in a month, and you can see how many wins we got in a row. Just kind of stacking them on. Very, very beautiful here. And this is all including commissions, right? So you can see that we pulled commissions in here. And then we go over to, and by the way, like live, I got a lot better fills than what we were showing in O&E, right? Live, you can get a lot better fills than just randomly stacking it in here. Slippage isn't really an issue. There's lots of liquidity. What's nice about the system is that the more people that join the system, they're trading at different hours of the day. No one's really competing with themselves. So it's really nice to kind of bounce around and stuff like that, right? If you're trading at noon, if you're trading at 11 or 9, or maybe you're on Eastern time and you're trading at like 10:30 or 11 or something like that, like, everyone's got different time frames, and that's all fine as long as you're putting on the proper structure for the day and for what the indicator is showing. Everything's great. So here's a quick little graph of what we've had so far. And yeah, it's pretty much, you'll see that this will match up almost identically to what my live trades were. I think I did take a couple more gains in here, but it's just kind of, execution, old versus new. I think that some of these get bigger gains than what I got live, but I think that we're both pretty much right here. I'm up, as of right now, I think I'm up 28% for the month. And this is really close to it, right? So been a fantastic month, and we will march on and keep adapting to the market. All right, so that's what I got for you today. Hopefully you enjoyed looking at how the ADAPT Daily just moves and maneuvers throughout the market cycle, as we went from a kind of bottoming process to a rally process to kind of more of a stalling process. Not all of them work just like that. Sometimes we're in buoys, sometimes we're in reefs, sometimes we're in something called a deep sea. That's another trade that I didn't get to show you today, but there will be other times that I'll get to show you those kinds of things too. So like I said, our behind the scenes are free if you want to check out a little bit more over at etradingedge.com. And either way, whether you're trading with us or trading your own strategies, I hope you adapt to the market, and I wish tons of abundance on you. I'll see you next time.